Damn, Spancy. Been they block them niggas dropping by the foe. Damn. I hit that switching up my Glock, unlock the door. Unlock my shit. He finna drop this bitch a glitch when it blow. He on the ground, hit the flow. Don't duck your talk, cause I'ma still hit your fro. Boom, boom. I like to scam, but I be drilling on the low. Don't claim it beef and wanna keep it on the low. Don't do that. Cause all my niggas with it, when they come and they on go. Yeah. I like to turn up in that car, you know I'm with it. Don't need the Drake, because my Glock come with a switch. Drop that low, you know I'm coming, stand on business. I'ma swing my door and I ain't finna leave no witness. Hell nah. Clear the scene, I ain't finna do no missing. Boom. It's on my mind, having thoughts about Lil' Bibby. Rest up, Bibby. Shorty Ness, you know we dropping for the city. Don't shoot our cars, come on foot, yeah we. My niggas really in that field and they tryna catch a hat. Niggas knowing how we rock, load up them walls, grab that splat. Nigga playing on my top, 2-3 hit his back. Know I'm sliding with Lil' Heen, that Michael Drake, it's all black. Gang, hop out on them in that all black. Them niggas scared, jumping fences like they running track. On the air scene, I got the ARP up in the scat. With 10 and wonders, you can't see, we finna make a pack. Gang, and if we miss them, we gon' double back. Don't hang with rookies, we some vets, all them niggas rap. We jump out on them, clear the scene, I can bet you that. Ride dirty, so she gotta tuck the vent.
I can't tell no lies. This shit too real, baby, we got soul ties. Ain't had nobody when my bros died, but you were there the whole ride. I'm out here thugging for my soul tie. Got shot and I'm still here like I got 9 lives. Caught me a case. 20 cents a month, had to go to that road, boy, I had a little weight. Couldn't get no bump face juvenile life, cause nigga went.
Normally after a major crash and a lot of police activity on 95 that was caused by a shooting. A medical examiner working to find out if the driver of this green car was killed by the shooting or the resulting crash into the back of a semi. Police are working to figure out who shot at the car and why. I'm Tanika Hughes.
I'm John Bachman. Action News Jax covered that breaking news at 4, 5, and 6 o'clock this evening. The crash happened on 95 northbound near Zoo Parkway. At its peak, traffic was tied up pretty much all the way back into downtown. Action News Jax Ben Ryan is live at JSO headquarters tonight. Ben, police are asking for help identifying a suspect here.
And John, JSO says they don't even have a suspect vehicle description right now, and they're trying to figure out if this was either road rage or just something completely different. But JSO did say it is possible that the suspect and the victim knew each other.
Tonight, a man is dead after gunfire on Interstate 95 North.
That's the scary part, because I could have been on I-95 right behind it. I could have got a crossfire.
Police say a car was shot at on I-95 near Trout River Bridge. It then crashed into a semi-truck that was broken down on the side of the road. Action News Jax Skyvision drone flew near the crime scene. You can see a green car totaled near the 18-wheeler. Carrie G saw the backup and said it's scary to think this happened in broad daylight.
Everybody in danger. See, we had a ricochet. 10 or 15 people could have died in a car wreck with no people not even thinking that way.
Sergeant Carly Reed with JSO says from witness statements they're still looking to confirm it is possible the suspect and victim knew each other and don't think it was random, but are encouraging everyone to always be aware of their surroundings.
Someone's loved one passed away today, and we want to do them due diligence and justice and make sure that we collect all of the evidence that we can.
The shooting caused major backups in the area for hours as traffic was diverted off the interstate. For G, he wants the violence to stop.
We can't just constantly keep killing folks.
And the car that was struck by bullets and crashed is going to be processed tonight for any other evidence, and the medical examiner will determine exactly how that man died. JSO did say there were some cameras in that area. They're going to see if they can get any access to them, see if there's any recordings or if they were just a live feed to assist them in this investigation. They're also asking the public, anyone who was on the interstate at that time, may have saw something or heard something, to give them a call.
Breaking tonight on the 10 o'clock news, we're learning new information about a shooting and crash on Jacksonville's north side that left a driver dead on I-95. The sheriff's office gave an update on the investigation within the past 90 minutes, saying it all started with gunfire near the Trout River Bridge around 3:30 this afternoon before the driver crashed into the back of a stopped semi.
Taking a look at video from our DOT camera earlier tonight, all northbound lanes of I-95 were closed for several hours. This happened during peak rush hour traffic. Those lanes finally reopened about 7:30 tonight, and this is a live look at the roadway. News for Jax reporter Khalil Maycock joining us now live tonight. And Khalil, JSO still working to find out what really...
They are, and that's because they don't have too much information at this time. They do say that the man who died is believed to be in his 20s, but they don't know his exact cause of death. They don't know how many shots were fired at his vehicle or a suspect information. So this is a video and an olive green car. JSO says they don't know what could have led to the shooting, but they're working to find out. They also say there were some people on the highway at the time of the shooting, but they weren't able to give them too much information. JSO also doesn't have information of a suspect, but they say it's possible the victim and the shooter may have known each other.
It does appear to be isolated.
In a city where hip-hop and rivalry have often intertwined, the streets of Jacksonville, Florida, have witnessed yet another heartbreaking incident. The recent loss of a young rapper's life, eerily similar to a tragedy that unfolded 3 years prior, has reignited discussions about the cycle of violence, rivalries, and the devastating impact they have on families and communities. The interconnectedness of these events sheds light on the complexities and challenges faced by law enforcement as they try to untangle the threads of violence and seek justice. On August 16, 2023, the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office responded to a chilling scene on Interstate 95 north at the Trout River Bridge. Calls had reported gunshots fired at a vehicle, leading officers to a car that had collided with a semi-truck on the shoulder of the road. Tragically, the only occupant of the vehicle, a man in his early 20s, lost his life, succumbing to the violence that had unfolded on the highway. This recent incident bears haunting similarities to a tragedy that occurred just 3 years earlier. In 2020, another young rapper, known as Mookie, met a similar fate when he crashed his car into a tree after sustaining gunshot wounds. The unsettling parallels between these two incidents underscore the deep-rooted issues plaguing certain neighborhoods in Jacksonville and raise questions about the ongoing feud between rival groups.
Separate shootings overnight. On your sides, David Jones has a closer look.
We're standing next to Gilbert Junior High School on the city's east side. I want to show you this mangled fence behind me. When police got here in the early morning hours Saturday, they found a vehicle that had crashed through this fence and into this tree in one of 2 separate shooting incidents still being investigated. Police had Milner Street blocked off for much of the morning after being called out to reports of gunshots around 1:30. Fire rescue took a man from a crash scene here with an unspecified number of gunshot wounds. When the sun rose, we got a better view of the scene. A gray Dodge Challenger smashed into the tree. The driver would later die at the hospital. Investigators telling us the shooting may have happened at a nearby apartment complex shortly before police arrived. But they need witnesses to come forward. On Bay Meadows, a shopping center near the river taped off after police arrived to reports of a shooting around 4 o'clock. A man in his 40s taken to the hospital with a gunshot wound to the chest. He would survive. Police say the shooting happened in an alleyway behind the businesses. They spoke with witnesses on scene. And if you have any information that could help police as they investigate either of these 2 incidents, they ask that you call the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office or Crime Stoppers at 866-845-TIPS. On the city's east side, David Jones, First Coast News, on your side.
One particularly disturbing aspect of this ongoing feud is the public disrespect shown towards those who have lost their lives. In the aftermath of these tragic events, social media platforms become arenas for taunts, finger-pointing, and even gloating. The disregard for the sanctity of human life further fuels the cycle of violence, as individuals seek retaliation and perpetuate a cycle of hatred and bloodshed. As Jacksonville mourns the loss of yet another promising young talent, it becomes clear that change is desperately needed. Community leaders, activists, and law enforcement agencies must come together to address the root causes of this violence, which may include poverty, lack of opportunities, and a history of systemic neglect. Breaking this cycle requires a multifaceted approach that combines education, mentorship, economic development, and a concerted effort to promote unity over division. The tragic events that unfolded on Interstate 95 serve as a grim reminder that when young lives are lost to violence, nobody truly wins. The interconnected stories of Jakejhit and Mookie highlight the urgent need for systemic change and a commitment to breaking the cycle of violence that has plagued certain neighborhoods in Jacksonville. As the city grapples with these challenges, it is our collective responsibility to stand against the forces that perpetuate division and seek a future where families no longer have to bear the weight of such devastating losses.